Hey guys, I'm back for another video. I'm gonna talk about the Packers Commanders game that happened a couple days ago, and it was a pretty interesting game. It wasn't as close as I thought it would be, but there were some points in the game where I thought it could be. But those Packers, that defense is looking scary. These Packers they're looking to be something special because this Commander team is pretty good team. So. Well, I'll start with the quarterbacks. Well, Jay Daniels didn't have a horrible game. 200 uh, yards and 2 touchdowns, but of course it wasn't very efficient. And man, he was getting pressured all day long. But Jordan Love did great as well. A lot more efficient than Jaden Daniels. He also had almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I think the key to this game was the defense. Not to say that the defense for the Commanders were horrible, but the offense was getting shut out so many times, so the defense had to keep coming back into the game. And when that happens, they get gassed. And when you get gassed like that, eventually you're gonna wear out. So that's what happened with the Commanders' defense, and the Packers took advantage of that. And that Packers defense just, especially against the run, Jesus, they were animals against the run. So when you have that, it just forces the Commanders' defense to be put out there even longer. So it eventually they ran out of steam. But I think at the end of the day, the better team just won. The Packers are looking immensely good this year. Jordan Love is looking pretty darn good. With the Commanders, I can't say exactly what their ceiling is, but I will say, they made it to the bloody AFC Championship game last year. So obviously, I'm not sure they're gonna have the same level of success as last year. Might fall down a bit, but I still think they're getting there. They have a very good team. They have obviously the young quarterback Jaden Daniels, and what I see from him is even when he's losing, he doesn't necessarily give up on the game. And the thing I notice about him more than anything is that he doesn't make big mistakes. When I mean big mistakes, the worst mistake you can make as a quarterback is a turnover, whether that's usually an interception or whether that's a fumble. So I still kind of kept them in this game, even though towards the end you could tell the Packers were just on a different level. But it was a fun game. Jacobs had a decent amount of carries. He ran for 84 yards and had a touchdown. Now for the problem with the Commanders that the running offense was not very good on Thursday, and that's what cost them. Honestly, one of the reasons it cost them because when you get shut down the run, puts a lot of pressure on Jay and Daniels and the passing offense to get most of the work done, and then they were just starting to shut Daniels down eventually. So it was kind of hard for them to get points. So that's why the defense of the Commanders had to keep staying there and trying to just do what they can to get the job done. But both teams I think are still pretty darn good teams. I do think the Packers are a much better team, but to me the Packers are definitely at least a top 10 in the league team, and in my opinion, they're looking very solid. They had a very convincing win against the Lions last week, and they had just had a very convincing a win during against the Commanders this week, so they can ride out the rest of the week and focus on the next game. And with the Commanders, I saw a lot of greatness from them, but at the end of the day, they couldn't pull this one out. And they have a game against the Raiders where I do believe they could beat the Raiders, but we'll have to see about that. And at the end of the day, it's just the Packers were the better team, and the Packers are facing the Browns against the Browns next week, which I definitely think they should be able to win that. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL, right? Who knows? But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this game. If you had fun with it, I had a little fun with it. And what do you think about the rest of the week? Who do you think is gonna win the games? Who do you think is the best early? Early now, it's only week 2, but who do you think is the best team in the league right now? For me, it's maybe the Packers or the Bills, but we'll just have to see. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.